All right. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome back to our think tank. And this is session number three. And I'm your host for session three. I want to thank Nakia for jumping us out and starting us this morning. My goodness, what an amazing time this morning with Apostle Martina Mitchell. I'm full, y'all. I am full. I'm full. I'm full. I'm full and I'm stuck. I'm full and I'm stuck. I can't move. I can't progress. But I'm so grateful for our network, our family of equipping gifts, those that are partners here, those that are leaders here, and those that have been with us and journeying with us over the last several years. And so this is session number three. Just to recap, Friday night, Prophet Chris Vickers just blessed us, laid us all the way out on the floor. I mean, storefront ghetto church laid out just on the floor. And then this morning with Apostle Martina Mitchell, Lord Jesus, this has been a loaded weekend. And we're going to shift today because we want to kind of give some practical wisdom and leadership on almost like sustainability, maintaining and managing momentum and your leadership and your influence. And so this morning, I'm blessed to be able to host someone that has really built just a tremendous organization from the ground up, and just been tracking with them and watching and following and congratulating. Seems like I'm congratulating them every 3 to 6 months. And I think this is going to be a powerful session, just giving equipping gives leadership and guidance, because we're all builders. We're all building something. We're all pioneering something. And I think together we should sit and receive and reflect. And how do we maintain that? What's the next level of that? And how do we take that to a place that we've never seen before? So, without further ado, I'm not going to delay the time because I want to give him much time as he needs and has. And I want to bring to the stage Dr. Varian Harris to the stage this morning. Very good to have you on, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good to be here. I'm excited to be here. Excuse the noise. I'm also at a mission event where we are feeding the homeless today. So I'm just excited just to be here and go forth.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on, and really appreciate your investment and your commitment and your just your expertise in this area. And so, Varian, I'm actually going to get off the stage. I don't want to turn it over to you. And Varian's going to be teaching us today and sharing with us from a very, I'll say, a very touchy topic that I think we should really take notes from and receive for where we're headed as individuals in our own ministries and our own networks and in our own endeavors. And so, Varian, I love you, sir. Thank you for being on. And the floor is yours. Feel free to minister and share. And everybody, let's receive it. We were in church. I tell you, clap with a loud clap, but we're not. We on live. All right, go ahead, Varian. The floor is yours.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, what's up, NACAP? It's honored to be here. I'm super excited just to share with you from my heart and from my depth what God has given me to share. It was definitely strange and weird for me to get this assignment to talk with y'all tonight or today about how to maintain your wholeness. And so I'm going to be real and be truthful and be transparent, but I'm also going to give you some teaching and some tools to use as you go forth in your matriculation as God has continued to build you up as a leader. One of the things that uh, as I was just wrestling with over the couple of days of just looking at the aspect of things of hold on. Just looking at over the aspect of things. When Apostle Nakia gave me this assignment, I was like, where do I go with this? How do I flow with this? And so one of the things that kept coming to me was the first time. If I can give a topic to this or a title to this, I would call it "Am I Connected?" And the subtitle would be "The Maintenance of My Wholeness." So the title would be "Am I Connected?" But the subtitle would be "The Maintenance of My Wholeness." So I grew up Baptist. I grew up Baptist in the Baptist church. We were, you always hear the preacher give correlation, give references. He will always preach his message. But at the end of the message, before he takes us to the cross, he will always ask us a question. And the question always that will always ponder me. The question was, "Will thou be made whole?" Or the other question would be, "Will you be made whole?" Now, I never understood the correlation and the understanding the method of that mindset, but I always wondered why that the pastor will always ask that question: "Will thou be made whole?" What is the significance of the wholeness part, and what is the significance of will you? The will part is subject to the understanding of your self will, your self preparation. You're getting to the point of you making the choice: do you want to be whole? The wholeness coming part comes in at a place where can I maintain where I'm at, or am I willing to give it up so I can move forward to what God has called me to be? And so, which brings me over to some definitions. I like to define different words. And I got a couple of scriptures that come with it, and the scripture reference I'm going to bring up to it is Matthew chapter 9, verse 22. It says, "Your faith has made you well." And we see Jesus in correlations of that, talking to different individuals throughout the scriptures, where he looked at them and tell them that your faith has made you well. Or in other reference, your faith has made you whole. What is the correlation of your faith and what is the correlation of wholeness? These two things tie hand to hand together in order for us to understand where we're matriculating, where we're going. So faith is defined is a complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Faith also stands for strong belief in God or in the doctrine or of a religion based on a spiritual apprehensions rather than proof. Hebrews 11 and 1 said, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things of not seen." Which brings us to the point of, where does faith relies in my wholeness? And where does wholeness relies in my faith? Now, it was real strange for me to get this topic because as you've been seeing me throughout the whole process, I've been moving and matriculating through my life. I have now um, did a grand opening of a university um, that's now moving forward. We now have 8 students that are registered and involved. We had just graduated a class of 41 students of receiving their honorary doctorates. Um, but just to look at where I come from, now I was in a place of my life where I was broken. I wasn't whole. Now, a lot of people have been thinking that, well, while you're doing all these things, you matriculate, you're moving forward, but you're not whole. No, I wasn't whole. I was still broken. I had just came from a divorce. I was divorced, went through divorce in back in 2021. Actually, no, 2023. Got divorced in 2023. And my wife left me in 2022. Um, we signed the papers on 2023 of April 21st of 2023. I did a grand opening of a school called the Key in 2020 on 2022. That was not, even though I was still moving forward, that was still not the desire that God has for me to do that particular school. That's why I was able to relaunch to do the school where I'm doing now. But even in doing that for time, I was still broken, but still moving forward. A lot of times in life as leaders, we constantly move forward even in our own brokenness. And we don't take the time to ponder or wonder where we are. I went to different counselors, went to different leaders, but nothing was really working for me because I felt like I was being stuck. I was in depression. I was wandering from place to place, trying to find where I was at. Which brings me back to the story of a little nursery rhyme. It said, "Humpty Dumpty um, sat on a wall," and it said Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all of the king horses and all the king men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. In that nursery rhymes, we all have been Humpty Dumptys. We all have sat on a wall where we felt high, we felt mighty, we felt grand, we felt excited, we felt esteemed. But then a moment when it comes to our lifetime where we have a fall. And that fall crushes us. That fall killed us. The fall messes with our manhood. The fall messes with our confidence. The fall messes with our understanding of who we are. Our fall messes up because when titles does not give you the satisfaction of when you have a fall, where do you go in this place? Where do you stay within the realm of all this calamity that's surrounding you? And you in a place of depression, you're in a place of guilt, you're in a place of suicidal, but you feel like there's something in you telling you to keep moving forward, and you're trying to find your wholeness again. Just like Humpty Dumpty, he went to different things, went to different places, but he could not get himself back together. Even though he put on other resources to try to put him together, but he could not be put back together. And so I come to you today to speak to you from the heart of a leader that's saying that the only way I got back my confidence that I remain faithful in the promises of God. I had to remind myself of what God has given me and what God has promised me over my life, even through the midst of understanding that I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to move forward. I did not want to be in a place to say that I won because I felt defeated. How many of you have felt defeated and felt like the devil has won? How many of you have felt like that everything that's around you has snatching your very confidence of who you thought that you were? In life and in times and in troubles, we will always get to that place as leaders that something you feel like has been robbed or snatched from you. Here I am in my mindset, in my mind, in my thought that I thought I had found the one. I thought I was fulfilling the assignment of my life. I felt like I was moving, matriculating forward. But then to have all that snatched from me, to get to the place of like, who am I? Who am I? Where do I go from here? Where do I stand? When you're surrounded with other leaders who are great and phenomenal, who do great things, you begin to set yourself in a place of comparison, to compare yourself, to understand, I'm like, I was just there. Do, I was just right there that moment. I was just at that place where where I was just about to move forward, and all of a sudden this snatched, this something happened, this something took place for me. Where do I move from here? Which brings me to the point of Matthew chapter 9, verses 22, where it says that the woman with the issue of blood touched the hem, and Jesus looked at her and said, "You are made whole." Even through our brokenness, we have a moment where we get sick, and we just looking for a place to be whole. It's not that the wholeness is not so much of us coming back into the place. The wholeness is that the fact that I want God more, and I want God to feel that place that was snatched from me, the place where I was empty, the place where it took from me where I was trying to go. And so I have so many things. I'm going to take my time. Um, but one of the things that it brought me back to was to define the Greek word of faith. And the Greek word of faith means sozo, which means to preserve, rescue, or to be saved from death, or to have a spiritual salvation. The spiritual salvation part comes in where the wholeness that is reflected to where I'm standing. And can my source be reconnected back with God? As leaders, we have to have a source where we can get connected back to. Where's your connection point? Where do you feel like you're connected to? And can I detach myself from places, from people who do not earn or have my best trust? In this season of my life, I realized there's been a lot of exposure, a lot of things taking place, that God has been exposing and revealing some things that even I had to understand that these people could not go to where I'm going. As leaders, we have to understand that there are a moment of time that things will be shedded from your life. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will be painful. Yes, you get to a place of depression. But it's up to you to get to the place to shake yourself and surround yourself with people that are going to push you and move you forward in life. Which brings me to the point of understanding that my source was connected to leaders that I value. Which brings me to Three things. How do I maintain my wholeness? First thing, I maintain my wholeness, one, because I stay connected. I have to stay connected to a vein, I have to stay connected to the source. The source is God. Number two, the source is great leadership. Once I once I stay connected, the third thing for me to do is accept corrections. I had to understand that the corrections was good for me, even though I accept it as a place of being bad for me. Correction comes not to harm you, but to fine tune the key principles that's in your life or the key things in your life to shed some of the things. Iron sharpen iron. But I had to get to the place to I had to realize to accept that correction was good. Constructive criticism is a key thing in place to allow us to be able to move forward and to grow. But when I understood that I was able to move forward and accept the key principles. Now, correction is not always good, something that you always want to feel, but correction is a thing that challenges you. What in your life do you want to be challenged at? Where are things in your place that you feel that you need to be corrected on? And can you be in a place to hear sound corrections? Leaders sometimes feel like because I have a title, because I have a position, or because I have certain things in my life that I don't need corrections. That is the problem where we are in that today, the churches or it's in the marketplace, because we get so high and mighty and become so mega that we neglect the warning that comes to us. The reason why Samuel was very key in David's life to show him that look, just because you are great, there's still warning to come before destruction. There's still warning that need to come to show you, but it's up to us to accept the warning and us to turn and pivot from our situations. You cannot get too big that you think that you're not being able to be corrected. So this is the second thing for us to understand that I have to accept correction. Now, the third thing us supposed to do to maintain our wholeness is to maintain the course. The course is prevalent to where you're going. The course is where you continue to keep moving out and continue to keep maintaining your faith in what God has for you. The course is very significant for you. If you do not maintain the course, you begin to be stuck, stagnated, and come into a place of complacency. If you do not move forward and allow things to push you beyond where you at, there's nothing else you can go to. The reason I was able to move forward is because I saw the eye on the prize. I saw what I needed to attain. I saw what I needed to get. And I need to keep going. I need to keep moving forward. And then one thing you have to realize that in life, that while you're matriculated and moving forward and taking the course, keep your eye off of everybody else and keep your eye off of trying to compare yourself to other people, because it gets you to a place that you miss your God given assignment because you're too busy focused on what everybody else is doing and not focus on what God has for you. The reason why I don't get caught up in gossip and all the other things is because my focus is not on that point. My focus is on what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm supposed to be moving forward in. I have to maintain my drive. I have to maintain my stigma. I have to maintain what is it for me to do. Because if I miss my gift or if I miss my moment in time or in history, I lose a momentum where people who's are called to me, who's supposed to hear my voice, are being neglected. You have to shift from where you are and to know that you are a leader of leaders, that you are a leader that people are waiting on to hear your voice. So, which brings me back to the point of how do I maintain my wholeness? I maintain my wholeness by one, staying connected. Number two, I accept corrections. And number three, I maintain the course of what God has for me. Thank you.
Bless you, Varian. Thank you for sharing, man. Sorry, I was my computer like glitched up on me. You said something that I wanted to kind of speak into about maintaining wholeness by staying the course. I think a lot of people, we have a tendency in the church to where when we face seasons of obscurity, seasons of persecution, seasons of tension, we revert and hide. And I actually call it the Adam complex because Adam's sin or shortcoming in the garden forced him to hide himself. Uh, it's almost as if Adam didn't fully have the capacity to see God in his fathering, forgiving nature once he made that error. Because whenever the soul is how do I say this, broken or damaged, it interrupts your definitions of the Father. The soul has the ability to break up definitions, even within relationships, which is why David had to make a statement and said, "My heart and my flesh, or my soul, cries out for the living God." So when we look at equipping gifts, it's beyond vital that we have this how do I say this commitment to the course, because although we are afflicted, although we are going through, although we are persecuted, there's still a destination in mind, which is why David said that the righteous cry and the Lord hears them and delivers them out of all of their trouble. So one of the things equipping gifts cannot do, we can't throw the towel in because we're going through some personal trouble. And I know that for a fact, and I know what that feels like. And I've walked through, even myself, some personal things in the last few months that the Lord had to show me, like, no, you still got a destination. Let me say this too, Varian, just to piggyback what you were saying about staying the course. Let me say this: a hole in the ground does not mean a lapse in your assignment. A pothole in the ground does not mean that the assignment has been forfeited. The enemy's job is to try to trap you in a season, to make you think a season is eternal. And if you agree to the season that you are stuck in, years will go by before you realize, I've been in the same place. I've been circling this same situation. You want to know how? You want to know one of the ways I measure my spiritual maturity and growth is I look at what used to frustrate me no longer frustrates me.
Yeah.
I used to look at what used to bring me to this defeated place, and that thing has no access to me. You know why? Because when you fall into I'll call it into a trap, or fall into a situation, when you fall into these hard places, you cannot agree with the hard place out of your spirit. When you agree in that season with the thing you are facing, it keeps you stuck. Uh, in Greek mythology, I know this is I'm not trying to be funny. I know this is in Greek mythology, and there's this belief of I can't think of. I think it's called the pseudo chip. I might be wrong, but this it's called the pseudo chip, and the pseudo chip was eaten by half gods. And when half gods would eat this, it would cause time to be delayed or suspended.
Yeah.
And because of them consuming this, what they thought was maybe 1 hour or 1 day actually turned into 5 and 7 and 10 days and years. The reason why is because while they were in a hard place, they digested what was given to them. Let me say this, just to add to what you're saying. Equipping gifts got to be careful what we eat when we're going through. And I'm not talking physically. I'm talking about McDonald's and Wendy's. I'm talking about digesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mindset and because all of that starts to flow through your ministry, administration, and Lord Jesus. Varian, I thank you for sharing that, man. Thank you for coming on and being on, maintaining your wholeness and influence as an equipping gift is vital. Beyond vital, vital, vital. All right. Thank you, Varian. I appreciate you, sir. And I believe we're going to take a brief break, and we're going to come back to the platform, and we're going to do a think tank very shortly here. And I want to just thank everybody for being on last night, Friday night with Prophet Chris Vickers. This morning, Apostle Martina, and then Varian speaking on wholeness. We're about to host our think tank in a few moments, but I'm just overwhelmed, and I'm just so grateful that we have such a network of equipping gifts. And let me just talk a little bit about NACAP. This network is a network filled with gifts and people that have pioneered works and established present truth in their own vein, in their own sphere. But this morning we got to really sit and listen to I'll say the culture of NACAP, because NACAP is not a network that is hierarchical in nature. NACAP is not a network that is structured after the typical, one person up top. No, it's a collaborational effort. It's a network of networks. I've been saying this from the beginning. It's a network of networks, and NACAP only works. NACAP only works when you are working in the grace and vein that God has given you. NACAP doesn't work if the gifts in the network are not working and building what God gave them. We work tangent together because iron sharpens iron, right? We work tangent together because we are grace and gifts, and we're called to equip the saints, right? Come on. This is not a country club for the gifted. Come on here. This is an equipping place to send the gifted. Come on. And so I want to thank all of them. This is who our network is. And so if you want to learn a little bit about NACAP, I want you to go to our website, and you can just discover some more information. We do 2 gatherings a year. We're doing 2 gatherings a year in the winter and then in the summer. And so all of our information is on our website and all that good stuff. All right. Well, I think we're going to do our think tank in a few moments. We're probably going to come back. It's about 12 p.m. on the East Coast, 11 a.m. on the Central Standard Time. So let's do maybe a 15-minute break, and let's come back. Nakia, the team, let's come back at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, and let's mark out about 45 minutes to an hour just to have a think tank discussion, and we're going to have a great time together. Our think tanks are always life-giving. They're always life-changing. And so, all right, I'll see y'all in about 15 minutes, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard, 11:15 a.m. Central Standard. You all can hop back on in here. We'll have a new link. It'll go live, and you'll see us going live and all that good stuff. All right. Thank y'all this morning. I'll see y'all in 15 minutes. Be blessed, everybody.